Okay, it's Monday the 4th of November. We're 3 days post new moon. Usually for me that's the outer limit for doing any serious deep sky imaging. The sky is variable tonight. There are some high thin clouds flowing in and out. I was able to see the Cygnus rift overhead, so that means we can see stars down to at least magnitude 4.5. Another magnitude brighter would be better, of course, but you do what you can do with what the sky gods give you. We, of course, are looking at a galaxy. It is a catalog study in the Messier series. And before I punch it in and give you the data, I'm sure you can venture a guess. This is Messier 110, a galaxy in Andromeda, brightish, magnitude 8.1, very bright actually, but also very large. 19.5 by 11.5 arc minutes in size, some 3 million light years distant. We're at right ascension 40 minutes, 22 seconds, with a declination of plus 41 degrees, 41 minutes and 5 seconds. This is our kickoff view. It is not part of the NGC sample series for the evening, since it was part of the NGC sample series several days and evenings ago. We are now up to NGC 300 to 399. We will sample some 20 to 30 studies in that range. I will try to stay with the sky's middle third. I just spent about a half an hour re-mechanically aligning and re-digitally creating a model on the scope. I don't know what happened with it. The bubble levels seem fine, but it was quite a ways off. The parameters for right now, by the way, in terms of the, I just thought I'd quote them just so you will have a sense of how far off it still is. If I go to alignment and model parameters, we have a horary hour index area of 6,087. I believe that's probably stepper counts, with a deck index area of 1187 with a polar axis azimuth of minus 680 and a polar axis elevation of minus 5797. I generally do not like to see anything that goes beyond 3,000 stepper counts, but it's cold. I spent a half an hour on it. Hopefully things will turn up reasonably well placed on the TFT monitor screen. Get an idea of how quickly the image is being assembled. It's the standard settings. This is a 13th magnitude galaxy, first in the series that was above in the sky's middle third, in fact above the horizon. This is NGC 304. I'll give you data on it. Typically it takes about 30 seconds to pull together an image on the TFT display after initializing, after the mount stabilizes. And during that 30 seconds, 6 passes are made in about 2.5 seconds each. And then any shifting in the image is compensated for using image stabilization. I do believe we can see this galaxy on the screen. It's towards the upper part of the screen, which is actually quite good. It's in a higher contrast region. I tend to shift things further north there and things further south, end up more towards the middle of the screen. But it does appear as though there may also be a fainter galaxy almost right in the center of the screen. We are hopefully looking at NGC 304, a galaxy in Andromeda. It's magnitude 13, 1.1 by 0.7 arc minute spiral with peculiarities, 227 million light years distant. We should now be assembling an image of NGC 311, a galaxy in Pisces, on the screen. Surprisingly, this galaxy is further north at plus 30 degrees, 16 minutes and 48 seconds, right ascension 57 minutes, 32 seconds. This is also a 13th magnitude galaxy, also of pretty much the same distance, 229 million light years, but it's 1.5 by 0.8 arc minute, spiral of the lenticular class. Well, our mystery is solved. The galaxy that once appeared right at the border of the screen has now dropped down into the usual location, giving a high probability that we're going to see most northern galaxies within about an inch of the top of the TFT monitor screen. This is NGC315, Galaxy in Pisces, also brighter, magnitude 11.2 and larger, 3 by 0.2 by 2.5 arc-minute football-shaped lenticular spiral, 230 million light years distant. So this baby is part of whatever galaxy group NGC311, which is down there, is a member of, if I do remember my facts correctly. NGC315. What we are seeing here, consistently well placed, mind you, even those at the top of the screen, is NGC317A. Galaxy in Andromeda, magnitude 14.5, 1.4 by 1.3 arc minutes. It does look like it has a smaller, somewhat brighter nuclear core neighbor, worth looking up. It's a lenticular spiral, 237 million light years distant at right ascension 57 minutes 39 seconds with a declination of plus 43 degrees 48 minutes and 2 seconds. Where there is an A, there is a B, and I suspect with the one click that I heard of the stepper motors that second galaxy I was mentioning is in fact 317b with the brighter core. It's a galaxy in Andromeda, magnitude 13.9, so about twice as bright, almost twice as bright as the previous galaxy, and that's largely due to its core. It is 1.1 by 0.5 arc minutes in size. It's a spiral with a bar and a lowercase bc, which means it's on the bottom of the tuning fork, Hubble Divaculaires, and it is 2.5 times distant from the mature lenticular class. At a distance of 243 million light years, these two babies are bound together. NGC318, another galaxy in Pisces. The fish is magnitude 15, the faintest of the evening, but quite small, 0.5 by 0.3 arc minutes. Should be pretty intense. It's a lenticular class spiral, 235 million light years distant. Right ascension is 58 minutes, 5 seconds. Declination plus 30 degrees, 25 minutes and 31 seconds. We are definitely in the sky's middle third, with the shift in the clock falling back. Time is probably, let's see, let me have a look at the time. It is now 7:24, which would have been 8:30, almost 8:30 previously. All right, we should be seeing NGC326, another galaxy in Pisces, magnitude 13.2, face-on 1.5 by 1.5 arc minutes. It's an elliptical of class 4 with some peculiarities. And if there are peculiarities in the morphology, we know what's happening. Either there's a relatively recent period growth in starburst, or it's interacting gravitationally with another galaxy. I would assume that this is the Papa or Mama galaxy of whatever group it's part of, because NGC326 is 638 million light years distant. That puts it at about 250 to 300,000 light years in diameter. It's huge, twice as large as Messier 31. We're at right ascension 58 minutes 22 seconds and declination plus 26 degrees 15 minutes and 55 seconds. The galaxy is quite present on the screen. It's at about half the distance of the most distant galaxy I have imaged, which I believe was in Eridanus, about 1.3 billion light years distant. This one, half that, at 638 million light years. You might imagine that NGC337 is a rather bright, large galaxy, and that is the case. It's in Cetus, magnitude 11.6, 3 by 1.8 arc minutes, spiral with a bar, lowercase cd, a mere 72 million light years distant, puts this at about 60,000 light years in diameter, but we are getting a good view despite being minus 7 degrees, 34 minutes and 39 seconds. Okay, what we're seeing here is NGC300-NGC399, a galaxy in Pisces, magnitude 12.8, 1.8 by 0.6 arc minutes, a nice 3-to-1 aspected spiral of the lowercase ab. 216 million light years. We're now at 1 hour and 36 seconds in right ascension with a declination of plus 30 degrees, 40 minutes and 7 seconds. NGC352, I've dropped it down about 1/4 of an inch on the screen. It does look quite nicely extended as an edge on, doesn't it? Once again, magnitude 12.6, 2.4 by 0.8 arc minutes, giving a nice sense of a frontier with some texture in it. Well, no guarantees we're going to see this one, especially on such a spotty night, but it is well reasonably overhead. This is NGC373, Galaxy in Pisces. It's at our limit, magnitude 16.6, 0.3 by 0.3 arc minutes in size, elliptical, 249 million light years distant. Probably on a per arc second level, this is down below 23 magnitudes per arc second. Does appear that, well, we're going to have to inspect the screen on the morrow. I wouldn't really expect to see such a faint galaxy on a marginal night such as this. Having realigned the scope, we're going to have to see where brighter galaxies fall in to be able to determine it. What we have here is NGC374, Galaxy in Pisces, magnitude 13.4, 1.1 by 0.5 arc minutes, so 2-to-1 oblate galaxy. Spiral with a lowercase a, 229 million light years distant. We're at right ascension 1 hour, 7 minutes, 5 seconds with a declination of plus 32 degrees, 47 minutes and 42 seconds. Okay, I'm liking this one. It's NGC375, Galaxy in Pisces, magnitude 16 and largish. 0.9 by 0.7 arc minute elliptical, so it's got a pretty bright core. It's an E2, so pretty close to being purely spherical. 271 million light years distant. Boy, we've been getting a lot of that. And there are several galaxies on the screen. Magnitude 16, however, those look a little brighter than that. We're at right ascension 1 degree, 7 minutes and 6 seconds with a declination of plus 32 degrees, 20 minutes and 52 seconds. Going to be tough tracking this one down, but there are several prospects on the screen. While several galaxies are present on the screen, we're looking for NGC379, a galaxy in Pisces, magnitude 12.9 with a perfect 2-to-1 aspect oblately presented ratio of 1.4 to 0.7 arc minutes. It is, in fact, a lenticular spiral, 253 million light years distant. We're at right ascension 1 hour, 7 minutes, 15 seconds with a declination of plus 32 degrees, 31 minutes and 14 seconds. I'm going to allow it to hold on the screen because when we look at the next one, it may be very close to NGC379. Let's take a look. Yeah, this is an NGC382 and it's slightly brighter. Let's watch it hop. Okay, I allowed it to hop. Now I'm going to look up the data and restart the camera so I can capture it. Now we're looking for NGC380, Galaxy in Pisces, magnitude 12.5, slightly brighter but a little bit larger, I believe, 1.3 by 1.1 arc minutes. It's an elliptical class 2, so it's probably the matriarch or patriarch of that galaxy group. 202 million light years distant. We're at right ascension 1 hour, 7 minutes, 17 seconds with a declination of plus 32 degrees, 28 minutes and 59 seconds. Okay, NGC382 is a little fainter and a little smaller. It's a galaxy, part of that group in Pisces, magnitude 13.2, 0.9 by 0.9 arc minutes, but it is a pure elliptical class 0. It's not radiating with as much light as the previous spirals. 238 million light years distant at right ascension, 1 hour, 7 minutes, 23 seconds, with a declination of plus 32 degrees, 24 minutes, and 13 seconds. Back at it. NGC383 is a galaxy in Pisces, magnitude 12.4, the brightest yet and largest, 2 by 1.7 arc minutes, lenticular spiral, 231 million light years distant, obviously a part of a galaxy group that we're already surveying. Right ascension is 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 24 seconds, with a declination of plus 32 degrees, 24 minutes, and 44 seconds. If you have a 12-inch scope, you should be able to turn up all of the galaxies in this group. And we've pretty much been trailing across this more or less linear group of galaxies towards the top of the screen. This is NGC384, galaxy in Pisces, magnitude 13.1, football shape, 1.1 by 0.8 arc minutes. It's an elliptical class 3, so a mature galaxy with many tending towards the red in the stellar spectra. Low mass stars, long-lived. 1.1 by 0.8 arc minutes, 195 million light years distant. So this one has been classified to be 30 or 40 million light years closer than the last group. May just be line of sight. We're at right ascension, 1 hour, 7 minutes, 25 seconds, with a declination of 32 degrees, positive 17 minutes, and 33 seconds. You know, when I went through the NGC catalog last winter, I don't quite remember having noted this group. But things don't always stick with you. NGC385 is a galaxy in Pisces, magnitude 13, the faintest one yet, 1.1 by 1 arc minute, lenticular spiral, 229 million light years distant. Given that size, I'd say it's probably somewhere around 65,000 to 70,000 light years in diameter. We're at right ascension, 1 hour, 7 minutes, 27 seconds, with a declination of plus 32 degrees, 19 minutes, and 12 seconds. Perhaps there will be another. NGC386 is another one of the galaxies in Pisces. It's in the group, 251 million light years distant, so a little more distant. NGC386 is magnitude 14.3 and small, 0.4 by 0.3 arc minutes. This baby is a dwarfish elliptical galaxy with probably an E3 or an E4. It is magnitude 14.3 as stated, 0.4 by 0.3 arc minutes, 251 million light years distant, with a right ascension of 1 degree, 7 minutes, 31 seconds, and a declination of 32 degrees north, 21 minutes, and 43 seconds. There may be even more candidates for us to see on the screen. Quite a spectacular galactic region. Let's check this hop, NGC 387. And there wasn't much movement to it, as you can tell. This should be interesting, because it's a magnitude 16 galaxy, well placed in the middle of the sky. I do believe the clouds that were to the south have dissipated, so we may actually have pretty good seeing this evening. So this is the test of seeing this evening. NGC 387, a galaxy in Pisces, magnitude 16, small though, 0.3 by 0.3 arc minute sized elliptical, 224 million light years distant. I would say this is probably in the 30 to 35,000 light year diameter range. It is an elliptical, so it has a fairly intense gravitational field and therefore is quite compact. So right ascension, 1 hour, 7 minutes, 33 seconds, with a declination once again of plus 32 degrees, this time 23 minutes and 27 seconds. Here's another leap. That same galaxy group. How many have there been so far? 7 or 8? This is NGC 388. Looking up the data as I speak. NGC 388 is a galaxy in Pisces. Brighter than the last one, but small. 14.3 magnitude, 0.3 by 0.3 elliptical, 249 million light years distant. Probably somewhere around 25 to 30,000 light years in diameter. We're at right ascension, 1 hour, 7 minutes, 47 seconds, with a declination once again of 32 degrees, but a little further south, 18 minutes and 35 seconds. If you inspect the field, you will see that we are in an entirely different stellar region now. We are looking for NGC300-NGC399. I'll give you the data as it forms. We're about to wrap up the evening's quest for samples. This one is pretty close to overhead. We're not getting any blockage of the aperture, however. NGC389 is a galaxy in Andromeda, magnitude 13.8. I selected it because it has an aspect ratio of 1.3 to 0.4 arc minutes. We're looking for something fairly edgy on. Spiral with a lowercase a, 243 million light years distant. Right ascension, 1 hour, 8 minutes, 29 seconds. Declination plus 39 degrees, 41 minutes, and 41 seconds. Looks like there may be several galaxies in this region as well. Mostly fainter, however. Okay, we're pretty much going to wrap up soon. We're driving now to NGC396, a 16th magnitude galaxy in Pisces. I'm going to let the camera run as this does, so you can watch how things develop on the screen. I'm going to look up NGC396 on the Gemini 2 handset database. And there's a reason I selected this one. Because NGC396 is a 16th magnitude galaxy in Pisces, smallish, 0.4 by 0.3 arc minutes, simply described as spiral. But the reason I went to it, it's 566 million light years distant. We're at right ascension, 1 hour, 8 minutes, and 8 seconds with a declination of plus 4 degrees, 31 minutes, and 51 seconds. Let's see if this one will develop on the screen as I look up to see what our last study of the evening will be. Okay, we're having a look at NGC399, a galaxy in Pisces, magnitude 13.6, 0.9 by 0.7 arc minutes, spiral with a bar and a lowercase a, so pretty close to a lenticular, barred lenticular. 237 million light years distant, we're at right ascension, 1 hour, 8 minutes, 59 seconds, with a declination of plus 32 degrees, 38 minutes, and 2 seconds. Galaxy is quite apparent right about there. And I'm going to skip ahead just to see if there might be something in the 400 series that we want to key off of. A nice bright study that would be interesting. Here's a 3-to-1 aspect ratio, NGC403, that we will anticipate another night out with. Okay. NGC403 is another galaxy in Pisces, magnitude 12.5, a nice 3-to-1 aspect ratio, 1.8 by 0.6 arc minutes, spiral with a lowercase a. It's another one of those 229 million light year, roughly equivalent galaxies in Pisces. There's a right ascension of 1 hour, 9 minutes, 14 seconds with a declination of 32 degrees north, 45 minutes and 7 seconds. And we are getting a really nice view of that galaxy. I'm going to hold on that, and then I am going to dial in our Carpe Noctem study for the evening. And of course, it could be Messier 31, 32, or 110, but no, it will be. Okay, last time we had a look at the Triangulum galaxy, we were drifted down this part of the screen, so we saw the spiral extensions going up here in higher contrast. This time we're going to get a view down lower on the screen and to the right. Let's allow it to develop. You know what I might try on this one too, because I've got plenty of battery left. I got 2 bars. I might push it up to 256 flood as well. So we're at Messier 33, galaxy in Triangulum, magnitude 5.7, about a third the size of the Messier 31, at 68 by 41 arc minutes in size, and a mere 500,000 light years more distant. So right ascension, 1 hour, 33 minutes, 51 seconds, and its declination plus 30 degrees, 39 minutes, and 27 seconds. So we're getting a pretty good view of the spiral extensions there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to boost the sensitivity and try to remain as stable as possible. So I'm going to do it while the camera is continuing. So we go to custom and manual, and then we boost this baby up to the ultimate limits. Some would say the outer limits of the revolution to real-time CCD imaging system. All right, now it will take roughly a minute for this image to completely formulate on the screen. Now, we've learned, I hadn't really looked that deeply into, I knew about galaxies and clusters and nebulosity and stars. I understand basically how stars create light by fusion, and how stars are created out of cold dark matter in space in general. But throughout this last couple of years of doing deep sky imaging, I have been delving a little more deeply into a lot of the information and what you can get out of the information associated with galaxies and clusters and nebula, etc., etc. So, what we're looking at here is a spiral galaxy, and spiral galaxies basically are relatively immature versions of galaxies. The most mature galaxies are the elliptical class. They're highly populated with billions of red-type stars that have very long lives. Our own sun will last about 10 billion years, and reddish stars can last 100 billion, a trillion years. They just keep glowing quietly away. They pretty much sequester over time most of the cold dark matter in galaxies. Galaxies start off by creating very massive, highly luminous stars, emanating a lot of ultraviolet and blue violet light. And then over time, these stars create turbulences that go out into space, causing new star formation, and each and every generation has what is called higher metallicity, in other words, more massive, what are called astronomical metals in their constitution. Their masses go down, their photospheres are, and their masses and diameters go down, their photospheres are less hot, their core temperatures aren't quite as hot, they're not able to synthesize heavier astronomical metals. Over time, things mature and get more highly populated with less massive and less brilliant stars, but so many more of them. So what we're looking at here in the Triangulum galaxy is probably a middling maturation galaxy of some, I'd say some 50,000 light years in diameter. It has a very distinct core and numerous regions of star formation in it. H2 regions, like our own Orion Nebula, SCA 42. Anyway, where stars are being kicked in, bright stars are causing turbulence, Bok globules are forming, the globules collapse, they begin to generate heat and radiation pressure and develop a certain amount of stability. So, that's enough background on, roughly on galactic evolution. What we're seeing here, like I said, is a middling spiral of about 50,000 light years, 50 to 60,000 light years in diameter. It is the third most massive and largest galaxy in the local group of galaxies, which is largely presided over by Messier 31, secondarily by our own Milky Way. So, what we've done here, we talked a little bit, but we've given an opportunity for the Triangulum galaxy to be exposed to the highest sensitivity settings of the Rev 2 system, which pretty much equates to something around 26 to 30 inches in the aperture at the eyepiece. Now we are getting a very nice view. A very nice view. And it's great to be able to say carpe noctem too.